Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about complexion. It's going to be 92 today, so I'm just like trying to get this going, okay? This is a space where we talk about beauty products, where I emphasize quality over quantity, and if that's interesting to you, please like, comment, or subscribe to help me beat that YouTube algorithm, please, and thank you. These are just my personal favorites on what works best for me. So for a point of reference, I have, depending on the time of year, it's mostly normal. I would say it's normal combination. So normal combination, so in the wintertime, parts of my face are a little more dry, and in the summertime, parts of my face are a little more oily. So I tend to do either a natural finish or a dewy finish because I like the option to either make something more dewy, or I like the option to powder certain parts of my face down. Something I look for in a complexion product is sheer buildable, maybe buildable coverage, and has a slight glow, but you could matte it down if you are feeling a little bit more oily that day, and it won't get cakey. So those are my criteria, if you will, for a good complexion product for my personal skin type. I want to start with a product that I've been using for a number of years now, and I've gone through, I don't even know how many tubes. This is one of my holy grail products, and if you ask me what my favorite skin complexion product, or what my favorite complexion product to use on myself, or when I was doing bridal makeup to use on brides, I always used Nars Tinted Moisturizer. Moisturizing, it has kind of a scent to it. I don't really know what it is, but it smells just refreshing, like almost like a lemon balm, but I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I have a weird nose. But I love the smell. Like when I put this on my face, I instantly feel like it's like summertime and I'm ready to glow. But I wear this year round. So this is something that I reach for when I don't know what to do or how my skin's feeling that day, because no matter what my skin is doing, this will always look good. This is a more expensive product. I'm not sure how much it's going for now. It might be like 49 US dollars, 43, I don't know. It's like 40 something. But you get like, how many ounces do you get? I'm not sure. I feel like it's over an ounce of product, but it's the most bang for your buck out of the majority of these that I'm even going to show you, even though it is one of the more expensive ones. You just get a lot of product and you can sheer it out or build it up. It's really, really beautiful. Like I said before, I use it on myself, I use it on others. I think it is one of the best tinted moisturizers ever. It lays on top of skincare really well, which is a really big thing to note when it comes to a sheer product. There are certain tinted moisturizers or skin tints that I have used over my moisturizers and my sunscreens, because most of these do have sunscreen in them, but it's not an adequate amount to give you the proper protection when there's a bunch of sun hitting you, which is usually the time of year that you wear these, but I wear these all year round. Anyways, this lays on top of sunscreen and skincare beautifully. I've never had this pill. I've never had it slip and slide all over my face. And it's actually what I'm wearing today. Next thing I want to talk about is the Glossier Skin Tint. Now, I can't say that this is a favorite of mine by any means. It's just in my collection, but I do want to give it an honorable mention because it's what got me into skin tints. Before, I was always buying just normal foundations and then shearing them out with moisturizer, which is it's a fine thing. It's an okay thing to do, but this is what got me into the your skin but better look that I always go for. Anymore, I like to mix this in with other products to either give them a glow or shear them out or adjust the color. I find this more of a mixing medium at this point in my makeup usage, but it is fine on its own. It will give you kind of a glassy look with dulling down a little bit of redness, but it's not going to give you much. And I think for the price that it's, I don't know if it's really worth the money. So I wouldn't really encourage people really running out and buying this because you're missing out on something. Plus Glossier is kind of falling off for me in a lot of ways. For a lot of years, I haven't really thought about them at all. I own 3 products by them right now, and sometimes I just kind of forget about them, except for the mascara. Anyways, it's not about mascara today, it's about this. This, it's fine. That's all I'll say about it. It's fine. You don't need it. Oh, Maybelline 4-in-1. This caused quite the hubbub. Actually, you can see I'm almost out of it. I'm almost finished, which is kind of crazy because I actually haven't had this all that long, like maybe 6 months, I don't know. But I bought this because I got reeled in with the consumer kebab that happens on the internet nowadays. But everybody was like, this is a Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter dupe, and you need to get this because it's only 14 bucks. This is not a dupe. It's not. When I first got this, I hated it. I thought it was stupid. I didn't understand it because I was trying to use it like the Hollywood Flawless Filter. And I shouldn't have done that. I use this as an all-over foundation, and I blend it out with a sponge to make it even sheerer, and it's very, very lovely. It's very dewy. The coverage is very light. It claims on here primer, concealer, highlighter, BB cream base, corrector, illuminator. Oh wait, I just started reading that in the French. It's claiming that it's a primer, concealer, highlighter, and BB cream. I would say that this is slightly a highlighter, maybe, not really, but it's like a base. It's an all-over glowy base that you can either mix in with other face products, or you can wear on its own. But as a highlighter, it's not much to write home about. And the shade range is atrocious. I think there's only 4 shades, which is bullshit. Like, I don't know. I'll never understand that. Like, it's sheer, and it's like, yeah, but there's people way lighter than me and way darker than me, and I wear the shade light all year round because shade 2 is way too dark for me, and I think there's fair, and it's like way too pale and way too pink for me. Like, I have an olive undertone, like I cannot wear pink. It's just, I look crazy. Also, it's this packaging from hell. It's from hell. It's disgusting. I don't know how they claim that this is sanitary and that it's not just harboring bacteria. And it just gets so gross. It gets so gross. It is my least favorite packaging ever. Anytime something has packaging like this, I'm very hesitant to buy it. High-end, low-end, like drugstore, whatever, like anytime it has this packaging, I'm like, you can do better. You can do better. Is it worth the money? Would I repurchase? Maybe. If I was hard-pressed for a complexion product and I was on a very strict budget, I would repurchase this in that scenario, but I'm not hard-pressed for any complexion products. I have a shit ton. But this, it's fine. I would say it's like a 6 out of 10 because of the shade range and the packaging, but the actual product itself is very lovely when you figure out how to use it for you. Oh, Ilya. What do I say about this? I don't know. I don't want to say that I'm neutral, but I also don't want to say I'm its biggest fan. I had some pretty high hopes for this, and I don't know why. I think it was because it has, let's see, I feel like an old person because I have to like go like this with reading now. It has niacinamide, squalane, and hyaluronic acid, so this is very dewy. But sometimes, and it also has SPF 40. This is pretty medium coverage actually for a skin tint. Like, I feel like this actually has a lot of coverage, and a lot of people, there's 2 complaints about this product. The packaging, which I agree with, I fucking hate it. It's messy. I can't control how much comes out. Like, I've had this for a while now, and I still don't have a feel for how much product I need, and I always end up with too much or too little, and then I'm like, Anyway, this, I never know when this is gonna work for me, which is really silly. I think it does not sit, one, I don't need an SPF 40 in my makeup products. I'll just wear SPF. But here's the thing, I don't feel like this wears nicely over any skincare or any SPFs. This is the only product ever that I have had pill on me. Anytime people talked about pilling, I'm like, what are you talking about? I've tried this so many different ways, and at one point or another, it'll either pill on my forehead or pill around my nose, which on certain types or certain times of the year, those are my kind of like dry areas, but not to the point of like flaky, like skin that looks shitty with makeup. Like it's never, I'm a very avid user of, like my skincare regimen is, I'm precise and I'm consistent. So it's not anything I'm doing, it's this. But then sometimes this looks really lovely. So it's really, really confusing. The shade I have is really nice. Like I have ST4 Formosa, and that is more of like a winter time shade for me. So currently this does not match me, but I don't know, it just, oh, and the second complaint is the smell. But I kind of like it. And I think it's because it has a mineral sunscreen, and I think that's what people are smelling. But it kind of smells spicy. I don't know. Like I said, I have a weird nose, so I like, this is gonna sound real crazy. I like weird smells. Like when something smells, like I have to smell it. Like I kind of like to smell this, but I don't really like to use it. Okay, here's another one that I'm a little hard pressed about. Color for me in the wintertime is beautiful. I have 1W1 Porcelain. I don't know, I feel like this gets a little, it doesn't pill the way the Ilia does, but it doesn't blend out the way people claim it to. Like it doesn't sit on my, I feel like this sits kind of heavy on my skin at times. But I don't hate it. Like I'm very neutral on this. Like I'm gonna use it. You know what I mean? Like I don't dislike it enough to not use it, but I don't find it very moisturizing, which is strange because it's a tinted moisturizer, and it's, you know, I have high expectations for Laura Mercier. I love a lot of her products. But, and there's that SPF 30 again, which I feel like can conflict with your skincare or your sunscreen that's under it. But like I said, this has never pilled on me. But it doesn't dry me out. It's just not, it doesn't give me this dew, like my skin but better look that I want as much, or it doesn't give me that my skin but better look the way that other people have claimed for this to do for them. But it doesn't do it for me. But like I said, I will use this up. It's not a horrible product, but I don't know if I'll repurchase it. It's not really, it's not Nars, man. It's not my Nars Tinted Moisturizer. I hold everything in comparison to that. Everything and it's not really a product that gets talked about a lot, but I hold everything up, especially a tinted moisturizer, to that standard. And this is, it's this beauty here. RoseInc. It took me a long time to try anything from RoseInc. And I've only tried 2 things. Well, 3 things, because I bought a brush, and it's now my favorite brush. And the blush is one of her like cream blushes, the toilet seat ones. And this is the runner-up for Nars now. I'm not shitting you. It's, this has gotten, some mixed reviews online. Some people call it a dupe for the Chanel Water Le Beige thing, because it's basically a serum. It's like skincare with little beady pigments in here that kind of burst as you agitate them. When I first used this, I was like, oh, this is a little finicky, but now that I've figured out like what works best with me, what I do is I blend it out first, and then I apply it with my hands instead of a brush, because it's so emollient that the brush tends to leave little streaks, and if you use it with a sponge, it's so emollient that the sponge just sucks it up. So I prefer this with my hands, as I do with most of my complexion products. And then I spot conceal with concealer. That's usually, anyway, this is Nars's runner-up. This currently isn't my shade, so I haven't been using it, and when I do use it, I do cut it with the Drunk Elephant Bronzy Drops to give it a little more of like a bronzy olive base, because this is currently my winter shade. I bought this in the shade 30. So in the winter time, I feel like I'm gonna be using this all the time because it's so moisturizing, but it's not greasy. When I put this on my face, it looked like somebody injected just like water into my skin. Like, I felt so beautiful. Other makeup sat on it so perfectly. Then again, if you have super, like, I have heard reviews where if you have dry skin that people actually don't like this, that it clings to the dry patches, that this actually might be more suited for people for normally combo to oily skin. And I don't know, because I'm one of those people where I'm fortunate enough to have a pretty balanced skin. I don't know what to, I'm not an esthetician, I don't know the words for it, but I have a pretty normal skin type, so when I wear dewy things, like, it's very rare that they're too dewy for me. It's been years since I have found something that I want to put on my face every single day the way I do the Nars Tinted Moisturizer, and this, I've been actually like wanting to like be pale again so I can wear this because it's that beautiful. I almost forgot to mention this. So in the wintertime, so I'm originally from the East Coast, which has a whole different flora and fauna than the West Coast. But now that I live in Portland, Oregon, I have a lot of allergies that affect my skin. So in the wintertime especially, my skin is really like itchy. I get hives, like it's the pollen. Like there's some plants out here that when like the fall and the winter time especially, because it's so wet here, it gets this some type of like dust and pollen or something gets kicked up, and it physically affects my skin, and I'm itchy, I have hives, they just pop up. I don't know what to do about it, and it's only in the winter and the fall. Something that helps me with cutting down the redness and balancing out the green tones in my skin is the Erborian CC Red Correct. Sometimes in the wintertime, I will just wear this. And you're just like, you're just wearing a green color corrector all over your skin? Yeah. But it's not even really like just like a green color corrector because it adjusts to your skin. Like it's kind of magical, actually. I haven't tried anything else from this brand, but I'm really, really impressed with what I have discovered here. It also has a SPF of 25, which I don't really care about at all. But when you blend this out, it literally just turns into your natural skin tone. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's really, really amazing. And it helps me out so much. Like, because sometimes I just look like a blotchy, like, crazy person. Like, you would see me and be like, what did you get into? And I'm just like, I'm just living. And then I put this on and I look normal again. I have some honorable mentions, and you could argue that these aren't complexion products or like whatever, but I find them multi-use tools into obtaining the complexion, no makeup, kind of my skin but better look that I want to achieve. This is what I do. I dab my tinted moisturizer, boop boop, like a couple little dots, and then I do a couple little dots of one of these guys. Yeah, these are some hero products for me. So this is my summertime one that I use, and it's a little bit thicker. This is the Iconic London, Iconic London Radiance Booster. So this is very on the glowy highlighter primer, can use as a base. That this Charlotte Tilbury, the e.l.f. Illuminizer thing that just came out, which everybody says is a dupe for this, and then the Auric Glow Lust. These are all products that more or less are the same means to an end. And you don't need to own all of them. If you own one of them, you're fine. You don't need all of these things. I also think that there's a product by Chanel that more or less does the same thing as these products, but is a lot thinner in consistency. I put this all over my face. It gives me a beautiful glow. Yes, honorable mention for this. Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Flawless Filter. Yeah. For a superstar youth glow. That's how I feel when I wear this. This is my wintertime shade. I have a mini of shade 3, which I use in the summertime. And that's what I have mixed in with my Nars today. I use that all over the face. I use it mixed in with things, and I use it as a highlighter. Because I do believe it has more mica in it than this and the Auric Glow Lust and the e.l.f. thing. It does have more mica in it, so you can see the effect that it helps me achieve with my skin being juicy and glowy and glass-like, and people coming up to me and being like, what do you do to your skin? And I'm like, I put makeup on. Full mention to this, I do consider this a complexion product because of how I personally use it. But yeah, it's just And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, or subscribe. It will really help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and bye!